On the first dimension, you can move forwards or backwards. On the second dimension, you can move forwards, backwards, left, or right. And on the third dimension, you can now move upwards or downwards. Those are dimensions at a very basic scale. But what exactly did X know about dimensions? Well, X studied dimensions a lot. He's an extremely spiritual person. I've dug around the internet to look at everything that X said about dimensions, and here are my conclusions. The first thing I found was a really old interview of X where he talks about pyramid schemes and how to get your mind off of it. Take a listen.
The way to get yourself up the pyramid scheme is to use your fucking brain, bro. The more creative or innovative you become, the more you study, the more time you take to really dwell into your mind rather than the world outside of your mind, is more you unlock.
He mentions that the way to get off the pyramid scheme is to use your mind. Your mind is the difference between being stuck in a system or being free in order to experience everything that you want to experience. It's up to you to bring that into your own life. This interrelates with the law of attraction that X was also super into, and interrelates all of this into it all. But focusing on dimensions, X really wanted to study dimensions in order to free himself and to grow himself. Growth was the one key thing that X wanted to do. As we saw, he had his blue hair, and in his blue hair phase, he really wanted to grow himself, and he wanted to show that he actually cared about this growth, such as learning boxing in order to have a different way of extorting energy outwards instead of taking it out in a physical sense. He wanted to find a new reality of thought, which he also did with the word Gekyum. Here's his explanation of the word Gekyum.
I'm going to make up a new word, and the new word is Gekyum. I am in the next Gekyum of thinking. Gekyum. Gekyume. Gekyum.
Even with Gekyum, you can see that this was all about dimensions as well. This was all about finding a new way to think and finding a new way to behave. Now, where was this all heading? Well, we'll never know because X did pass away, but what we can see is that he was going in a very positive direction. They also asked him where was he heading, and this was his response to that exact question, if you're wondering.
You can evolve as a person, you can evolve as a mind, you know what I'm saying? You can evolve physically or mentally or spiritually. It just depends on what you want to meditate on. Now, the more you upgrade and evolve in your mind, well, you won't even give a fuck about none of this shit, bro. And I'm trying to get to that point where I don't give a fuck about none of this shit, bro. I don't give a fuck about anybody, bro. And I mean it, like, I'm trying to evolve past caring for anyone. And I say that in a non-disrespectful way.
Or selfish, yeah.
I'm gonna be able to teach people that, and then I'm gonna be able to pull the few people out of this realm of slavery, you get what I'm saying?
He wanted to teach and pull people out of slavery. That was one of his big things. He wanted to take you out of that depressive state and bring you into a positive state. And I think he was doing that. He was doing that later in his life through his Helping Hand Challenge and through his different initiatives in the community. Now, through his music, he also was releasing different types of music, different genres of music, and releasing it all into the public for people to hear. Now, in the DJ Academics interview, he talks that he needs to mess with frequencies and that these frequencies also mess with your brain and make you think a different type of way, further interrelating with dimensions. Check out this video.
At 15 years old, I was doing sound engineering. So I was playing with frequency. I was playing with equalizers. I figured out that hertz is to understand the frequency vibration, right? I play with those frequencies, right? I can target certain parts of the mind, target the frequency to go to certain parts of the mind, and I can literally, like, if I want you to astral project, right?
Now, as you can see, he knew a lot about this kind of stuff, and he was studying it at a young age because he knew he was going to be at this place that he wanted to go in. See what I said there? He studied, he knew. He manifested this in his own life, interrelating with manifesting. Manifesting is another key thing that comes out of all of this. You start to believe in yourself, and you start to actually make these changes in your life. He took severe action into his own hands, and that's what a lot of us have to do too. We have to take this action back from outwards and bring it back inwards and change our own selves to change our universe. Our universe can be changed if we care enough. If we try enough, we can change it to be to our own liking. And that's what he wanted to teach us, to the exact method in which to do it. He did this later on his Instagram lives too, such as in this video right here, teaching you how to change your thoughts and how to actually think positively.
You have to love yourself. You have to understand yourself. You have to take a second to sit down to thoroughly observe your patterns. Do you move when you don't want to move? Do you get angry when you don't want to get angry? You have to fix these things about yourself. You have to give a fuck. about yourself, and that makes life so much better. Like,
now, even in his interviews, he said a lot about this kind of stuff, and he was trying to teach us through little pieces. And saying that we are in a dimension, saying that we are in a universe, there's a big spiritual conspiracy about karma, where karma is just a repetitive pattern in your life that mirrors your traumas or your mistakes. In essence, what you put out will come back into you. One of the golden rules in all of these religions, that what you put out will come back. X believed in this, and he says that nothing matters other than karma. The karmic cycle, breaking the karmic cycle, is one of the key meanings to life and one of the key things to do in life.
I believe in past lives and future lives. I believe in the karmic cycle. I believe you will repeat this life until you get it right. I believe until you align the karmic cycle, nothing else matters.
Obviously, looking into dimensions, it gets really deep. It gets really deep into the spiritual stuff because you find a lot of stuff that's just words. A lot of stuff will just be words, but then a lot of stuff will be practice on your own self. So where do you draw that line in between, am I reading something good or am I reading nonsense? Well, I think it comes into you. Whatever resonates with you when you read it will show you truth within it. A lot of these words won't make sense to you at the beginning. If you do look into this kind of stuff, if you do look into dimensions or spirituality, some of these words just won't make sense to you. And that's totally okay, because it will come to you at the right time. You may just not be ready for it. If you are younger, you may just not be developed enough to understand it. If you are older and haven't looked into this kind of stuff yet, it may take a while for you to fully start understanding what exactly all of this is. At least X gave us a little baseline into understanding it. If you find any of the words that I said today interesting, Google them, search them up, or find books on these topics. It's a great way to start looking into all of this to try to understand the universe. And why would we try to understand the universe? Well, we would try to understand the universe because understanding it, we are parts of this universe. So understanding the universe will better understand ourselves in order to be more successful, to make more money, be happier, and live a better life. There's big things that come out of all of this. There's happiness, there's money, and there's experiences. A lot of stuff comes out of this, and I know for some of y'all it might be words, but for those of y'all that are still on the same wavelength that I'm saying, welcome. I'm really happy that you enjoy this kind of stuff and that you look up to someone like this, because it's great to be initiated into this kind of stuff, because you start seeing changes in your own life happen when you start taking that action. It's up to you to bring that change into your own life, and I hope I'm able to do that today through introducing this content to you. If I was able to do that, I really appreciate if you could like this video, because it helps the algorithm push it more to more people. And if you really love the way that I talk, I have another video up here that's also going to be similar to this video, talking about something spiritual, talking about something growing yourself. If you mess with X, mess with hip hop, mess with spirituality, please check that out. I love you. Thank you. This is the Blue Vanity YouTube channel. All love, peace, and prosperity. Take care.